Okay, class D commutation or impulse commutation. Okay, today we will discuss class D commutation or impulse commutation. Okay, here we are using the two thyristor. Okay, one is the main thyristor and another one is the auxiliary thyristor. Okay, this auxiliary thyristor is used for the turning of the main thyristor. It is clear. And here we are using the inductance, diode, and capacitance. Okay, one extra circuit here we are using for turning of this thyristor. Okay, see the operation of this circuit. See the operation of the circuit. At time t is equal to 0, at time t is equal to 0, the thyristor T1 is in forward bias condition. Okay, the thyristor T1 is in forward bias condition. The thyristor T1 is already in forward bias condition because the anode is connected to the positive terminal of the supply voltage and cathode is connected to the negative terminal of the supply voltage. Means what we can say here, what I would like to say here, the T1 is in already forward bias condition. The T1 is in already forward bias condition. Okay, if we apply the gate pulse for this thyristor, if we apply the gate pulse for this thyristor, the T1 is triggered. So when we are giving the gate pulse for this thyristor, at time t is equal to 0, we are giving the gate pulses. At time t is equal to 0, we are giving the gate pulses for thyristor T1. Then what will happening? Okay, the T1 is going to trigger. The T1 will be turned on. Okay, when this T1 is turned on, it will act as a closed circuit. Okay, it will act as a closed circuit. So now the current is flowing positive terminal of the supply voltage through the T1 and through the load. Okay, this is the load element resistance and through the load circuit and negative terminal of the supply voltage. Okay, negative terminal of the supply voltage. Here, initially the capacitor is fully charged. Here, initially the capacitor is fully charged. Okay, initially the capacitor is fully charged. The voltage the voltage is present across this capacitance is equal the magnitude of this voltage across the capacitor is equal to the supply voltage. The magnitude of this capacitor voltage is equal to the supply voltage. Here now shown the capacitor voltage waveform. Okay, here then what will happening at time t is equal to 0, at time t is equal to 0, the T1 is triggered. When the T1 is triggered, when the T1 is triggered, how much current is flowing through the thyristor T1? How much current is flowing through the thyristor T1? Here the two voltage sources are available. Okay, two voltage source. Here the voltage is present across the capacitance as well as supply voltage is also present. Here this capacitor is discharges. Okay, when the T1 is triggered, this capacitor is discharges means the thyristor T1 is carries the current. The thyristor T1 will carry the current. Okay, supply current as well as capacitor current. Supply current as well as IS IS as well as capacitor current. It is clear? Means the thyristor T1 is carries the both current, supply current as well as capacitor current. Means, for example, here the supply current is 5 amperes. IS is equal to 5 amperes and IC is equal to, for example, 3 amperes. IC is equal to 3 amperes. So how much current it is carrying the thyristor T1? 8 amperes. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8 amperes. is equal to 8 amperes. How much current is flowing through the thyristor? 8 amperes. Means the capacitor, the thyristor T1 is carrying the load current, okay, as well as capacitor current. But here I shown the capacitor current IC, but here they have represented by IP. Okay, I0 plus IP. But at this junction, what will happening? Whatever the capacitor, whatever the current is coming by the capacitor, that current is diverted through this circuit, because it is a capacitor current. The capacitor current should flow from positive plate of the capacitor to the negative plate of the capacitor. Okay, it will not, this current should cannot go to the another circuit. It is clear? So again, this at this junction, the capacitor current is flow through the direction and the supply current is flowing through this direction through the load circuit. Okay, means at this point 3 amperes current is flowing through this circuit and remaining 5 amperes current is flowing through this circuit. It is clear? So that's why from this point to this point, during the discharge period of the capacitor, the magnitude of the current through the thyristor is increases. Okay, after this point, the capacitor is fully discharged. The capacitor is fully discharged and no current is coming by the capacitor and no current is coming by the capacitor. Clear? So here the capacitor current is become a zero here because the capacitor is fully discharged. Okay, the capacitor current is become a zero from this point to this point. Okay, only the capacitor current is flowing from this interval to 0 time to this time only. After this point, the capacitor current is not coming because the capacitor is fully discharged here. And reverse voltage is present across the capacitance. When it is fully discharged, reverse voltage is present across the capacitance. Okay, and next, how much current is carrying the thyristor T1 after this interval, after this time? Only the thyristor T1 is carrying the current. Which current? Supply current. Supply current is nothing, that is the load current. Okay, after this time, after this interval, the thyristor T1 is carrying only the current, that is the supply current or load current. Okay, that is the constant magnitude of the load current, constant current of the load current. Clear? Next, at this interval, at time t is equal to t1, at time t is equal to t1, at time t is equal to t1, the thyristor ta is triggered. The thyristor ta is triggered. The thyristor ta is triggered means we have given the gate pulses for the thyristor ta. Then the thyristor ta is turned on at this time. At time t is equal to t1. At time t is equal to t1. Clear? Before this T1, what will be the voltage across the thyristor T1? Thyristor T1 is triggered from the time t is equal to 0 to time t is equal to T1. So means voltage across the thyristor is 0. Okay. And then from this interval, the thyristor TA is triggered. When the TA is triggered, then what will happening? The capacitor charges again. The capacitor is going to charging again with positive supply voltage, and the is triggered means the current is flowing through this direction and through the load circuit, and negative terminal is the supply voltage. Okay, during when the T2 is triggered, when the T2 is triggered, when the T2 is on, reverse voltage is present across the main thyristor TA. Reverse voltage is present across the main thyristor T1. Okay, reverse voltage is present across the main thyristor T1 for a small time. Okay, then when the reverse voltage is present across the main thyristor T1, then automatically the thyristor T1 is going to turn off. Okay, automatically the T1 is going to turn off. Okay, T1 is turned off, but still the current is flowing through the load circuit. But how the current is flowing through the load circuit? Through this circuit, through the capacitance T2 and load. It is clear? Supply, positive terminal of the supply voltage, and here the capacitor is going to charge condition, and still the current is flowing. Okay, the current is flowing through the capacitance until till the capacitor is fully charges. Okay, through the T2 and through the load circuit, means still the current is flowing through the load circuit from 0 time to even after T1 also. Even after time T1 also, the current is flowing through the load circuit. But here the T1 is off condition. It will act as a open circuit because the reverse voltage is present across the T1. The reverse voltage is present across the T1 here. Clear? So here, when the capacitor, again the capacitor voltage is going to charges, when the capacitor voltage is fully charges, okay, when the capacitor is fully charges equal to the supply voltage, then what will happening? It will block the current. It is clear? It will block the current. For example, the capacitor voltage slowly increases and it will the capacitor voltage reaches the maximum value. Okay, and the current is going to decrease. Okay, when the maximum voltage is present across the capacitance, okay, at this point the current is become a zero. The current is become a zero because it will block the current. Okay, it will block the flow of current when it is fully charged. When it will block the flow of current, then what will happening? There is no current is coming through this thyristor, so the T2 is also automatically turned off. The T2 is also automatically turned off. So when the T1 is turned off, T1 is also already in off condition, T2 is also off condition. Then what will happening? No current is flowing through the load circuit. There is no current is flowing through the load circuit. Means current through the load should become a zero. Current through the load circuit will become a zero at this point. When the TA is turned off, okay, T1 is already turned off condition at this interval. Okay, and again at time t is equal to T2, the capacitor is fully charges and it will block the flow of current. Okay, means no current is flowing through the capacitance. Okay, then T2 is automatically going to turn off because the anode current falls below the holding current here. The thyristor T2 or auxiliary thyristor TA is automatically goes to off condition. When this auxiliary thyristor is goes to off condition, there is no current is flowing through the load circuit. There is no current is flowing through the load circuit, means the output current or load current is becoming zero. The output current or load current is becoming zero. It is clear? But here from a time interval time t is equal to T1 to T2, the negative current is flowing through the capacitance because the current is flowing through the capacitance is in this direction. This is the reverse direction. Actually, this is the positive direction. Okay, positive plate to through L, D and negative plate. This is the actual positive direction, but the current is flowing in this direction, in reverse direction. That's why the capacitor current is represented in negative. It is clear? When the capacitor is fully charges, the capacitor current is become a zero because it will block the flow of current. Okay, when the capacitor current is zero, the thyristor TA is automatically turn off. Okay, so the T1 is already in off condition at this interval. At this interval, the TA is in off condition. Then automatically there is no chance to flow the current through the load circuit. Means the output current is become a zero. The output current is become a zero. This is the and then voltage across the thyristor is again it will goes to main thyristor positive. Okay, when the T1 is T auxiliary thyristor is off condition, again positive voltage will appear across the thyristor TA. Again positive voltage is appeared across the thyristor TA. It is clear? So this is the simple operation of the circuit. This is the simple operation of the class D commutation. Clear? This is the simple operation of the class D commutation. So please remember, all of you, it's a very important topics: class A, class B, class C, class D, and class F. Okay. So circuit diagram and waveform is main important. When you will understand the waveforms of the circuit, and then you can easily write the operation of the circuit in your own language. Okay, if you understand the concept how these waveforms is getting, then you can easily write the theory in your own language. Clear? Okay, this is the operation of the class D commutation. Next, we will see the class C commutation. Next, we will see the class C commutation. Okay, class C commutation are also called as the external pulse commutation. Class C commutation are also called as the external pulse commutation. Clear? External pulse commutation, why we are calling? Because we are using the one extra voltage source. Here we are using we are taking the one extra extra voltage source, extra so extra voltage source. That's why we are calling this method is, this commutation is called external pulse commutation. External pulse commutation. Clear? So here we are using the three thyristors. Here we are using the three thyristor. This is the main thyristor T1, which is going to turn off, which we are going to turn off. Okay. To turning of this thyristor T1, we are using the extra two thyristor T2 and T3. We are using the extra additional two thyristor T2 and T3. Okay. For turning off this thyristor T1, we are using the additional two thyristor T2 and T3. And additional voltage source here we are using, that is the V1. This is the actual voltage source. Okay. This is the actual voltage source which is necessary for the load circuit, which is necessary or used for the load circuit, and this is the extra voltage source. This is the extra voltage source. So why we are taking the extra voltage source here? See, here the capacitor is connected at this point. The capacitor is connected at this point. It is clear? And the T3 is triggered here. T3 is turned on by giving the gate pulse. T3 is turned on by giving the gate pulse for the thyristor T3. Then what will happening when we are giving the gate pulses to the thyristor T3? The thyristor T3 is turned on. The thyristor T3 is turned on, and the current is flowing through the circuit, and the capacitor is charges. Okay, the capacitor is charges, and the current is flowing through this circuit. Okay, positive terminal of the supply through the T3, through the L, through the capacitance. Okay, and negative terminal of the supply V1. Here the capacitor is charged. So how much voltage is exist across the capacitance? So two times of this voltage. Two times of this voltage. In such a way, we have to select the value of the capacitance. Okay, in such a way we have to select the rating or value of the capacitance. Okay, we have to connect the capacitance. When it is fully charged, the voltage should be present across this capacitance two times of the supply voltage, two times of this V1. It is clear? So here what will happening, and when it is capacitor is fully charges, when the capacitor is fully charges, and it will block the flow of current, and it will block the flow of current. And when the capacitor is fully charging, there is no current is coming through this circuit. Only the current is flowing through the circuit during the charging time only, during the capacitor charging time only. Okay, after some time, after a few seconds, after some time, the capacitor is fully charges and it will block the flow of current and no current is flowing through the circuit and T3 is automatically turn off. The T3 is automatically going to turn off because there is no chance to flow the current through this thyristor. So here the T2 is triggered. Okay, after T3 is off condition, the T2 is triggered. When the T2 is turn on condition, then what will happening? Then what will happening? Whatever the capacitor is charger, whatever the capacitor is having the voltage, okay, and this capacitor discharges through this thyristor. This capacitor is discharged through this thyristor, and when this thyristor is turned on, the voltage at the cathode circuit of this T1, the voltage cathode circuit of this T1 is more than the supply voltage or more than the anode circuit of the T1. It is clear. Initially the T1 is triggered and the current is flowing through this circuit. Okay, initially the current is flowing through this path, but when the T2 is triggered, then what will happening? The magnitude of the cathode voltage is more than the magnitude of the anode voltage, because here the anode is getting the supply voltage Vs, okay, but the cathode is getting the voltage is 2 times of the supply voltage, okay, 2 times of the supply voltage. Then what will happening? When T2 is turned on, when the T2 is turned on, the capacitor is discharged through the circuit. The capacitor is discharged through the circuit. Clear? When the capacitor discharges through the circuit, the cathode voltage is more than the anode voltage here, because here the voltage after the capacitor is 2 times of the supply voltage. 2 times of the supply voltage means the magnitude of this voltage or capacitor voltage is more than the supply voltage here. So automatically the cathode is getting the more voltage than the anode voltage. When the cathode voltage is more than the anode voltage, the thyristor is automatically goes to off condition. The thyristor is goes to off condition. So then no current is flowing through this circuit. Okay, only the current is flowing through the circuit, and the capacitor is fully when the capacitor discharges, the T2 is also goes to the off condition. The T2 is also goes to the off condition. Okay, this is the this is the operation of the class D commutation. This is the operation of the class D commutation. Clear? Okay, this is class C commutation. This class C commutation is also called as the external pulse commutation. This class C commutation is also called as the external pulse commutation because we are using the one extra source voltage, to turning of the main thyristor. Okay, so this is the simple commutation techniques of the SCR. This is the simple commutation techniques of the SCR. And here one more technique is there, that is the class F commutation. Class C commutation is over, and already I have given the explanation class F commutation. Okay, starting in already I have given the class F commutation. The operation of the class F commutation is already explained in previous lecture. The operation of the class F commutation is explained in previous lecture. Okay, previous means starting of the commutation techniques lecture. Okay, this is the